Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the newspaper review right here at Prime Media TV. I'm Ayo bringing you the newspaper review. Today, we have quite a number of headlines to be reviewed with you. First of which is the cybersecurity levy. CBN orders bank to charge 0.5% as cybersecurity. Nigerian government to reintroduce telecom tax orders to secure 750 million naira loan from World Bank. Just in, the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, makes detour, cancels US trip over aircraft faults. These are the headlines we are set to review with you today. But before we go into all that we have for you, let's go on a quick break and we will be right back. Sure. So the first headline to be reviewed with you today is on cybersecurity levy. The CBN orders bank to charge 0.5% cybersecurity levy. Very quickly, let's look at the news in details. The Central Bank of Nigeria has ordered banks operating in the country to start charging a cybersecurity levy on transactions. A circular from the Apex Bank on Monday disclosed that the implementation of the levy would start 2 weeks from today. The circular was directed to all commercial merchants, non-interest and payment service banks, among others. So this is the development in Nigeria. The CBN has ordered that all banks in Nigeria has ordered them to begin to charge 0.5% on every transaction. And looking at 0.5% on every transaction, we can see that, okay, breaking it down, this means that 0.5% on 5,000 naira is going to be 15 naira. 0.5% on 10,000 naira, as many transactions as you the higher amount on this tax to be deducted, and this will apply to every transaction you make. Transfer of 10,000 naira for like times in a day, so you're going to make deduction of 100 naira on every of those you transfer, the number of times you make the transfer. So during the session is my goal to discuss and analyze this latest development on bank charges. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So on this story, it came to me as a shock. Like there's so many levies that you're paying for. You're paying for card maintenance. You're paying for VAT. You're paying this commission. You're paying that commission now, including cyber security to the money to the cybersecurity levy to whatever transaction you make. Is making me to ask what is really happening. So I would like to hear your take on the story.
Okay. Is the country we find ourselves. As a matter of fact, our incumbent president, in course of his the course of the election, when they were still preparing for the election, he made mention of this. Sometimes when our politicians say some things, we don't give deep meaning to them. We clap, we shout, without having a clear understanding of the message they are trying to pass. It's quite unfortunate that in addition to the numerous charges, if at the end of the month, if you take, people don't really take notice of all these charges. Every transaction at the end of the month, you see so many charges. You don't use your money, you see it depreciating right in your account. Many people are not even taking note. And now this cybersecurity. Now, what is the purpose of this additional tax? The people are paying a lot, just like you mentioned. We pay for VAT, we pay for, they say end of the month, what is it called? So many charges, and there is additional one. At the same time that Nigerians are crying, at the same time that this country is going through a lot, it is not what the people should be talking about, or the people are expecting this time around. Judging from the fact that even the ones we are paying, people are still lamenting. It's not, I don't think they are considering the people at all. I think they just like I said in one of our program here, that our government, they don't really consider how the people react to situations. Our president then said that they are going to increase tax, and this is what we are experiencing, slowing down the economy, the purchasing power of the people. So now with this now, it will be difficult. Some people will prefer to keep their money at home, because if you don't take your money to bank, you won't pay for this, you won't pay cyber security. And it's not as if with this now that people account will not be hacked. So I don't really know what this cybersecurity inclusion has to do with, in addition to other tax we are paying. I don't really know why they introduced this tax.
All right. Earlier on, looking at the percentage that they said Nigerians will be paying, 0.5% on all transaction, and I try to make a breakdown. Like, okay, let's say for instance, people, when they increased the tariff, they said they increased it for band A's, and the band A's are the people who could afford it. These are the people who can afford to pay the tariff that they've increased. Now, let's say people who are going to be doing 5,000 naira transaction are not going to be doing it as often like that. So the money may not really be getting from the poor. So I try to make a breakdown for those who will be making a transfer of 1,000,000 naira. Or over 1,000,000 naira, you'll be paying 5,000 naira. Over 10 million naira, you'll be paying 50K. And I'm just wondering, what happens to people who want to make this transfer for their rent? They make this transfer and they still have to, after saving money for their rent, they have to save that which they are going to pay as taxes, looking at all of that. So the CBN, part of
No, I think there is an exemption.
Yeah, their exemption. So part of the many things that the CBN said is that this levy that they have just included will commence yesterday, which was yesterday when the Apex Bank released the statement. And part of the many things that they said is that this money is not going to be in the hand of the financial institutions that are making the deduction. That these financial institutions are making this deduction they're making this deduction on behalf of the National Security Advisor's Office. So immediately they make the deduction, they are making this transfer to the NSA's treasury. So now the question to even be looking at now is that let's assume that, before I go into the NSA, there was a video of Mr. President proud the time he came into power, where he mentioned that they are going to increase the taxes of the people, where he also mentioned that they are going to take the purchasing power of the people. We are going to have the video on display now. Then we relate it to what NSA wants to use this money accumulated from this cybersecurity levy from. Let's quickly have the video.
We reduce the purchasing power of the people. We can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net. Those who are not paying now, if it is inclusive of Bola Tinubu, let the nets get bigger and we'll take in more taxes, and that is what we must do in the country. Instead of additional layer of taxes.
So that was it when he mentioned that they are going to widen the tax of the people. They are going to make sure that they take away the purchasing power of the people. And we can see that that is what we are currently saying. Now, the question is that what does the National Security Advisor's Office want to use the money accumulated from this cybersecurity levy for? Now, if we are to make if we are to make if we are just make a statistic of the amount that the NSA will be getting at the end of the year, annually, they should be making nothing less than 3 trillion naira from this cybersecurity levy that they have imposed on Nigerians. Now, the question is that if at all there is a need to be catered for in the country, and you want people to pay for this need, there is need for them to have come outside and say, okay, this is what we want to use this money for, instead of just imposing it on the people, enforcing it on the people to pay. Because right now we have no choice. They imposed it on us, and we have no choice but to pay for this. And let's say maybe if people begin to talk about it, because practically media stations are beginning to talk about how difficult it is for Nigerians to be able to cope with this development. And another thing to question is the NSA office in itself. During the regime of Jonathan, the former president Goodluck Jonathan, NSA office, they bought some weapons for the security sector worth over 2 billion naira. Now, it wasn't really stated. They said these weapons, but it wasn't seen. They only told us, the security sector said they are not seeing anything and all of that. And on the long run, we discovered that it was an embezzlement on the part of NSA. Anything coming from NSA has always been something that the people of Nigeria would always question. And it is making Nigerians to conclude to the fact that these big boys in the political industry, in the political world, let's put it that way, they are making Nigerians to pay for their expensive lifestyle. Nigerians are reacting that this can also be a means for the big boys in politics to say, okay, our expensive lifestyle, since we cannot cater for it, let's make the people cater for it. That is just what is coming to my head on this new levy that they are imposing on Nigeria, that they want Nigerians to pay for their heavy lifestyle. They don't want to cut down their excesses, because how can CBN just wake up in one day and begin to impose 0.5% on levy? If care is not taken, you will just wake up one day and you discover that they have used you to borrow money in this country.
Do you actually think that CBN governor on his own make this imposure?
Yeah, of course. Since the CBN is the apex bank, whatever they want to happen to other financial institutions, it is coming from CBN. So the other financial institutions cannot question it.
What I'm saying is this: like, judging from the how far this is going to affect Nigerians, do you really think that order is coming from him alone?
Yeah, not at all.
You see, just like the video that was played, when Mr. President made mention of that, reducing the purchasing power. Honestly, the purchasing power has been reduced, and the reduction is still on. Many people can no longer afford to buy things they could afford before. So many things has gone down, and now this is another means of sucking the people indirectly, because everybody make transaction every day, not just once. All right. Now this is applicable down to people that are using POS. You said I'm sure your estimate was just a rough estimate. 3 trillion in a year. It will definitely be more than that. You know how many banks we have in Nigeria? And almost everybody now owns an account. So I don't know why Nigerian politicians, our leaders, people that are in position to make things a bit easier for Nigerians, are the one making the purchasing power in Nigeria has been reduced to a very point that many cannot afford We are not even talking about a good life anymore. Many people cannot even afford a living again. Not a good life. It's a problem. The purchasing power Mr. President promised, he has actually reduced, honestly speaking. And this is one of it. With this now, many people will resort to not keeping their money in the bank. Imagine these market women just to transfer, to buy goods, just to send money to where they want to their customers. They are paying. It's bad. It's bad. This is not what this is not the idea. And they're always bringing out ideas that can enrich them. Some people are going to be enriched by this.
Yeah.
All right. So what just like I keep on saying, we keep on hearing of recovery by the EFCC. Recovery by the EFCC. We are not seeing what the money is being used for. And because these people, they feel that nobody is going to hold them to account. All right, so it's a big problem. This is not what we should be doing. And truly, the purchasing power of this nation has been dropped down, and it's still happening. Only God will help us in this nation.
Exactly. These are the many things that we are looking at, and also considering that immediately after this CBN implosion, the Nigerian government are also considering that they are going to bring back taxes on telecommunication. And before you know it, even as you are talking, probably you want to buy a recharge card from your bank, you have to pay on that. You want to buy data, you have to pay over those things. So Nigerian government are making the people to pay for their expensive lifestyle. And currently, as we speak in Nigeria, the Mr. President is nowhere to be found. The Vice President is supposed to be out of the country on Sunday, but because of one issue or the other, they are not in here. All of these things, all of these expenses are coming from the pocket of the federal government. It's coming from the national treasury. It is coming from money that are supposed to be used to invest in, things of value in the country. And do you know pay? Okay, you want to make transfer, you bought something of 5,000 naira, you pay the money the other person will use to collect it. So even Nigerians ourselves, we know how to take advantage of situations. Don't be surprised that even after now they've not imposed it yet. It will take effect in 2 weeks time. And as soon as this thing takes effect, Nigerians will be paying for whatever transfer they make, even to the people they are making it for. Let's say, for instance, you want to buy a good worth 10,000 naira. You know that your bank is going to charge you 100 naira for that. The other person does not want to lose out now. Who wants to lose out? Nobody. The person you have to make it on 10,000 naira plus 100 naira that my bank is going to charge, because I don't want to run at loss. Before you know it, it's even become more difficult for Nigerians to survive. And like Mr. President rightly said, he took the purchasing power from the people. Now, the thing I want to look at from this angle is, Nigerians has been reacting to this story since yesterday, and some persons are like, we are not going to protest. We are not going to protest against it. Whatever the Mr. President is doing to whatever Nigerian government is doing to Nigerians right now, they deserve it. We are not going to come outside. Meanwhile, it is affecting everybody. The Igbos are saying, after all, you do not allow our people to rule. We are not going to protest. Meanwhile, it is affecting the Igbos. The Yorubas will say, we want our Yoruba nation. All of us are still making transaction. The Hausas are saying, I support Mr. Tinubu because he is the cane that we want to use to suffer Nigerians. Now, it is looking like Nigerians are separated, and there's really no way we can get what we want. We cannot really fight the common enemy by being separated, because we are not together. We are not united. We are not like-minded and all of that. Now, how can Nigerians come together to say, for this one, we don't want it? When hunger started, some persons were saying, no, we are not the one affected. After all, you are the one clamoring that you are hungry. But now we see that this transaction, whatever, this 0.5%, whether we like it or not, it is going to affect every sector in the economy. Even though there are there are exemptions of people will be affected, like on the case of loan, on the case of, I would like that the picture be displayed so people can know the part that is exempted. But let's have the conversation on how can Nigerians come together to fight this common enemy that we have on ground.
All right. You see, on the issue of coming together, I will tell you that it is very, very impossible. Coming together, I didn't mean there's going to be a coming together to kick against most of the irregularities coming from our leaders. It would have occurred before now. In a situation whereby the people are not united, there is no who we can only come together when we have one language. As it stands now, the Igbos, and judging from what played out during the election, it will be difficult for any Igbo man now to come out and say he want to support the Yorubas to kick against. Do you know the mindset the Igbos are having? No matter how difficult it is, they are going to survive. But this one now is just like you say, is going to affect everybody. All right? But now, we live in a country where, just like I said the last time in one of our program here, that Labour, NLC, they've lost their power. I could recall then when Adam Oshiomhole was the chairman of Labour, the NLC. You see that something of this nature, 1/3 of what is happening currently in the country will not have happened, and you see people in the streets. So it will be difficult for Nigeria to fight. And do you know what? Our leaders are actually taking advantage of the fact that they know that the Nigerians cannot come together. This last election really brought about division in Nigeria. So the Yorubas, the Igbos are not happy with the Yorubas. The Hausas are not happy with the Yorubas. Everybody just feel like they are on their own. Anyhow it is. Let's face it. And that is why these people, they know that Nigerians will team up and come after them. They will consider their actions. So, because they know that anyhow they do it, everybody will face it. What is it not 0.5? No problem. Can it be compared to the rate of dollar? Don't you know where dollar was before they took power? Don't you know where the fuel price was before they took over power? So all this thing is just geared towards ensuring that the purchasing power is reduced, just like he promised. Talking about Mr. President, just like he has promised. Now, it will get to a point that people will not be able to do so many things again. Maybe at that point, all I can say when it has to do with this one now, elastic has its limit. Maybe Nigerians has not gotten to their limits. I believe when they got to their limit, they will forget about tribalism and come together and face it. And then I believe there will be a change.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at the Nigerians need to come to the reality of the fact that we have a common enemy, and there's really no how we are going to fight a common enemy if we are separated. One thing that stood out for me in the Senegalese election is the fact that the people knew what they wanted and they went for it. They were not biased, they were not tribalistic, they were not religious bigots. They forsook everything and they decided to come together that this is who we wanted. And do you know that currently as we speak, in the past few years, the Senegalese people, they pay taxes to the France government. But now as we speak, as soon as Diomaye Faye came into power, he said no. As from henceforth, I think I saw the story just yesterday or 2 days ago. Diomaye Faye said, whatever tax you want to pay must be paid into the Senegalese treasury. That is the power of the people at work. The people knew what they wanted. They knew Diomaye Faye could do it. And Diomaye Faye came as a representative for them, fighting for the people. So we must learn from that experience that regardless of the tribe that you come from, regardless of the religious sect. This is a common problem affecting the people, and we must learn to let go of this tribal war that has separated us, that our government is using to take advantage of us. And
They
I
are really
feel
taking advantage.
I think that the even what the government is doing to us right now should actually bring us together. Though they were doing it in a way to take from Nigerians, to sap Nigerians to nothing. But at the same time, Nigerians can channel this energy, because gone are those days that it is only affecting the Yorubas. Gone are the days that it is only, I saw the video of an Hausa man that was crying over the fuel he bought because it was too expensive. He needed to take care of other responsibilities. It was too expensive. But now, this is a general problem affecting all. These Igbo men are doing businesses. Okay, you may be saying that 50K is nothing on 10 million naira transaction, but you know what 50K can do for you when you invest it on other things. So I think this is a call to all Nigerians to come together and fight this common enemy. We have 2 weeks to brainstorm. We have 2 weeks to say we don't want this. This cannot be imposed. So many things has been imposed on us. Just imagine if we accept this, they will impose it, because according to Nairametrics, it said the Nigerian government are still thinking of how to bring back taxes on telecommunication. If we accept this nonsense now, they will bring other taxes for us to pay, and we will have no choice but to pay, and they will succeed in taking away the purchasing power of the people. So this is a call for Nigerian people that you cannot sit down and be quiet while this nonsense is ongoing in the country. The CBN should come out and tell us, what will this money, this cybersecurity levy, what will it be used for, considering the fact that NSA itself has a questionable character. They have a questionable act in the past. We cannot continue on that path. So on this note, we are going to move on to the next story. The Vice President Shetima makes detour, cancels US trip over aircraft fault. Was it not just yesterday we were asking where is Mr. President? And here is the Vice President Shetima. Thank God there is a fault. I didn't mean there was no fault. That is how they will not be accountable to us on what they are doing. But then, looking at where Mr. President is, do you by chance know? Because we don't know. That's the question. But then let's look at the news in details. Then we have our review on that.
Okay.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Maitama Tuga, will now represent President Bola Tinubu at the 2024 U.S. African Business Summit in Dallas, Texas. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who was originally scheduled to represent the president, was unable to make the trip following a technical fault with his aircraft, forcing him to make a detour on the advice of the presidential air fleet. According to a statement by his media aide, Stanley Nwokocha, on Monday, the vice president will carry on with other national duties at home. So according to the story, the vice president is supposed to represent Mr. President at the U.S. African Business Summit. So the question to ask is, where is Mr. President himself? Because we will not have known where Mr. President is if not that there is an issue with the flight. So if you by chance know where Mr. President is, it is high time that you tell our viewers. Because yesterday I saw a tweet by the presidential candidate for the PDP in the past election, and he said, "Are we sitting on a keg of gunpowder?" I've forgotten how he put it. I really wish I can see that tweet and read what he said. Where is our president? I would like to hear your take on this story.
Okay. We have people who, even though they have people they should account, that they should be worried about how their reaction about things they are doing, should be, but they are not, because they feel the people have no say. That is what is playing out in Nigeria government today. A situation whereby the president is out of the country and nobody knows his whereabouts. Just like you stated, if not for this incident, we wouldn't have found out that our president is not in town. And now it's a big problem that he is calling on foreign investors. And this meeting is a place where he's supposed to meet with the other countries' president and I'm sure this meeting is actually focused on how people can come together and to work on the economy of African nations. He is supposed to be there. It is in a situation whereby he has other engagement, that the vice president would have represented him. Now the question is, why is, because you can't tell me the aircraft has issue or whatever, that are they not going out? Why is it that he is not going to be there and the vice does not want to be there? Because I see the man that they have appointed to represent, is he going to trek there? He's not going to disappear and appear there. He will still go there by air. Must it be by his own aircraft? So these people, they are dribbling Nigerians. Why are both of them not wanting to be there? It's another question we should be looking at. Okay, now our president, on a norm, the nation should be aware of, okay, if he's traveling on medical issues or whatever the nation should be aware.
Yeah.
But on this case, we don't even know. And we don't even know how long he has been away. And he's leading a nation. So it's a problem. And all these irregularities should really bring Nigerians together. These people have seen that they can do anything and nobody will question them. Now he's telling us that the president is, now where is he? Where is our president? The number one citizen of a nation is nowhere to be found. Only God will help us in this nation. It's very soon 2027 will come when Nigerians will have the power again to decide who sits on that seat.
Yeah, exactly.
I think all that is happening now should be a big lesson. That this person is from your tribe does not mean he is fit. Let's come together when we have that power. We sold our power. We sold our rights during the election. And that is why they are doing what they are doing. They know we can't say anything because we saw white and called it black. So they are not stupid in what they are doing. When you sell your rights, you won't have a say. So they see that Nigerians don't have a say. They can do anything. Nobody will question them. That is what is playing out now in the nation.
All right. I would like to quickly read what the presidential candidate for the PDP said. I'm trying to see the chart. He said, I have been inundated to ask. I've been inundated on the absence of Mr. President, and he asked a question: is Nigeria on autopilot move? The part I actually want to look at, because he actually made quite a good point here. So the part I actually want to look at is that Mr. President in February, I think, he said no MDAs, no ministry heads, no government officials will be allowed to go on a private on a foreign trip. And he said, as a result of that we are going to, if they are to cancel these foreign trips for government officials, that they would. He said they are going to be saving about 15 billion naira annually, according to him. But then this is going to be the third time that Mr. President himself has gone on foreign trips this year alone. And to even consider the fact that we do not even know if he is right here in Nigeria, if he is outside the country, if he has gone to, like some people will say, if he has gone to charge his battery or something. This also falls back to the issue of transparency. Nigerians are not on autopilot mode that you can just do whatever you like. To some extent, even though he said chain and statistic will go the chop. Yes, we know we are not going to be feeding on statistic. At the same time, we also want to see that these people are accountable to those that still believe in them to some extent. We want to see accountability. And also these foreign trips that they are going for, on whose neck is this foreign trip going? On whose neck is it falling on? This is another thing to look at. This is coming back to it's being taken from the treasury of the country. Yet we are looking at how the country can become better. Well, on their part, I'm not sure they are considering how the country can become better, because they have
their
made a
consideration
conclusion.
is all about how to suck the people at all costs to ensure that Nigerians are paying. They bring out ideas that will enrich them, all in the name of Nigeria. They want to. It's only God will help us. I believe Nigerians are learning in a hard way. Learning in a hard way that when you have the right to choose who leads you, use it very well. How much were people given during the election that has not finished? So when this opportunity will come again, and all I can still say again is that maybe Nigeria has not gotten to their elastic limit. When they get to that time, when it choke everybody will forget tribalistic issues and come together and focus on them, because our leaders are our common enemy. We are all suffering from their wrong decisions. When we are tired, when we are fed up, when it gets to the point that we are choked, then we'll come together.
Well, on this note, we'll be wrapping up on our newspaper review for today. Thank you all so much for staying tuned with us. In case you know the whereabouts of Mr. President, we'd like to hear from you in our comment section. Regardless of where you're watching us from, on Facebook, we're Prime Media TV. Do well to drop it in the comment section. Do you know where Mr. President is? Please do well to let us know. On the website where you are currently watching us, we are enginespeak.com. And also, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Prime Media Studios. You can as well follow us on YouTube at Enginespeak. I am Ayo. Until I come your way again, do have a great day.